Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have with us expert speaker Maggie Berghoff. She's going to teach us how to grow an online health and wellness business using public speaking and social media and creating the ultimate flexible lifestyle so you could spend more time with your kids. Welcome to the show, Maggie.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Majeed.
Maggie, you were the first ever person I met who is a functional medicine practitioner. We met in New York City at Unfair Advantage, Chris and Jen's amazing event. And you told me that you get clients from giving presentations. And I thought, well, that's what I'm really good at. And I'd love to help more people like you because you do such amazing work. And now I've known you for several years where you've evolved and I've really seen you show up really powerfully and strategically on social media. So I want to ask you about, in fact, you sat me down in Toronto and showed me how to make an Instagram post. Thank you for that.
And you showed me how to create a Loom video. This goes way back.
And our lives have been changed forever.
Yeah.
So maybe take us back. And I also want to mention to my audience that Maggie is my ideal client. And when I look at the lens right here, I always talk about the lens. I look at Maggie's blue eyes. So she's got these bright blue eyes. And so Maggie, I want to help you and I want to help people like you. And I know you are leading hundreds, if not thousands of practitioners who are either on the verge of burnout or leaving their salaried job and starting a highly profitable, highly flexible online healthcare practice. So maybe you can take us back and tell us your story.
Yes. It's such a full circle moment to even be here, Majeed. We both have just grown so much. And that was a long time ago. So to still be friends with you is just awesome. I appreciate you. To go into my story a little bit, yes, when Majeed met me, I was a functional medicine practitioner. I still am. I run an online functional medicine company. So when I started, basically, I guess way back when, I was actually a nurse practitioner in a traditional medical model. And I found what's called functional medicine through my own health journey. I had this massive health crash. It led me to going back to school to certify and get all this education in functional medicine just to heal my body. Never in a million years that I want to be an entrepreneur. I had no intention to do any of this at all, let alone teach other health professionals to build their companies. This all just kind of happened, I don't know, from a big ball of momentum fueled by passion around helping people. So once I healed my own body, I decided that I really wanted to create a career around this to help other people in that way. And really, it wasn't even about creating a career around this. I just wanted to help people in this way that I loved more, about nutrition and, true wellness and sleep and lifestyle and all this stuff, testing, specialized testing to figure out what your body actually needs. Because when I was in the traditional medical model, I was severely failed by that system. The doctors told me everything was normal with my body. It absolutely was not. They were looking at me like I was crazy because on the outside, I looked very healthy, but I was like literally in tears telling them something is not right. Until finally, like their labs did show abnormals. I had a mini stroke when I was 24. They diagnosed me with kidney disease. They said I'd be on IV therapy the rest of my life, that I was infertile, like all this crazy stuff. And I'm very stubborn. And I was like, there's no way that I'm just going to accept this for the rest of my life. And that fueled the next step of my chapter of life in quitting the traditional medical system and going all in with helping people with what I believe is true wellness. So really, that's how this all started. And then after my first year in business as an online health consultant, I did do real fast. I'm so grateful that it worked. And I had just had my first baby. So I was working very minimal hours. And everybody was, asking me, how did you do this? How did you do this? Teach me how to do it. Teach me how to do it. And I said no for years, truly. I was like, no way. I don't even really know what I'm doing. Like I'm just starting this online business. I'm doing my thing. And then it wasn't until maybe 2-ish, 3 years into business as a health consultant, owning that thriving company, that I decided to start mentoring other health and wellness professionals to build their own business as well.
Awesome. So you've been helping other health and wellness professionals build their business, and flexibility is really important to you. Can you kind of compare what's life like for someone working in the traditional system and what's possible for someone who's got a online practice like yours?
Well, literally anything is possible. I always tell my clients to build your business around what you want your life to look like. And if you know what you want your life to look like, we can help you create a profitable company around that. You truly can do whatever you want to do, which is the very cool thing. So depending on what you want your life to look like, building a business model and structure that fuels that. Now, most people, you asked about comparison of like what it's like to work in a traditional setting versus having your own business. In a traditional setting, most people are working, your typical 9 to 5 hours. Or if it was like me, I was on call at nighttime. So sometimes I would get called into the hospital multiple times at night. We had shifts of weekends here and there. So that was like my normal job in traditional medicine. When I transitioned to my own online business, the world is mine. I could do whatever I wanted. So in that first year, I had just had my first baby. My husband was still working at his corporate career, and we didn't have the nannies or anything like that. So what I did was watch the baby. And then during nap time, I kind of like worked on the business. So instead of watching Netflix or something during nap time, I worked on my business. And I would see clients in the evening or sometimes on a weekend. My husband would take the baby to like his mother-in-law's. I would see clients for a couple of hours, and then I'd go meet up with the fam because I was still working full time. So that's kind of what that looked like in that moment. And then now for the last several years, my schedule is usually from 11 to 3. You were asking me earlier, Majeed, like, what's your schedule kind of look like? So I never schedule anything before 11 o'clock typically. And then I usually end at 3 o'clock because that's when we pick up our kiddos. So usually that's what my schedule looks like. When I first started, I only saw clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now it's just on Thursdays. So, you kind of most of our clients choose your client facing days. Maybe that's you see clients on Thursday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is yours to do whatever you want. Maybe you want to continue growing your business. Maybe you want to focus on social media. Maybe you just want to do nothing and hang out with your family. You actually get to just decide what you want your life to look like.
I love the lifestyle design, choose what you want it to look like, build the business. I'm a big proponent of that and big proponent of freedom. So it sounds like you have cracked the code on that and you're helping a lot of people build businesses that are having a lot of impact. And, it's amazing, even as you and I are talking, our clients are watching our videos in their courses right now. So there's so much leverage potential with technology. Take me back to the days where you were standing on stage, holding a microphone, teaching people about health and getting clients that way. I want to know, what was that like? What did you learn from that? And maybe if you'd like to compare to how has it changed, because I don't know how many years ago that was, but the world has changed in so many ways that there are different ways to speak. We're speaking now to the world and the people of the future through these recording devices. So tell me about how you got started with presentations and getting clients.
It's interesting. I was just talking about this with my husband, and we were flashing back, remembering that very, very first speaking engagement. And I was like, I cannot believe I did that. I was like a nurse practitioner, a new mom, and I was just knocking on doors, basically calling them, asking people in town if I could talk. Like, what? Who was I? I definitely was not like some confident, ready person, but I just knew that I did not want to do what I wanted to do anymore. And I had this better way to help people.
Like asking who? Like you were calling up the Chamber of Commerce, you were calling up the Rotary Club. Like who were you talking to
I was
ask to
thinking,
speak?
where is my ideal client? Where is my ideal client? They're not at the Chamber of Business people. Do you know where they were? I called up, my very first talk was at the custom pharmacy. So like compounding pharmacy, it was called Custom RX. So I literally called the compounding pharmacy because they're doing supplements, they're doing compounded stuff, they're doing functional medicine testing. And I was like, hi, my name is Maggie. I'm a nurse practitioner over at this hospital, but I also do functional medicine online. I would love to talk to you guys about the difference between functional medicine and traditional medicine. And he was like, yeah, can you do next Thursday? And I was like, sure. And so literally
your audience was the pharmacist and the pharmacy staff, or the audience was the clients of this custom pharmacy?
The customers of the custom pharmacy, the customers who are coming in to buy supplements.
And at that time, how would you describe your ideal client? Like normally you think of an avatar, you think of demographics, like she's 42 years old, she's works at a technology company, but I'd love to know how you thought about your ideal clients.
So I took messy action at the start, and I did not have like, Susie, who is 42 and goes to yoga class. I did not have a perfect ideal client. I knew that I wanted to work with people like me because I went through this huge health thing. And for me, that's high performance. I was pushing my body to the far extreme, and I definitely do that. And I didn't know how to balance it by activating my parasympathetic nervous system and all this kind of stuff. So I knew I wanted to work with high performing men and women. But at the start, I did not really zone in on that in particular. For example, this custom pharmacy, the majority of people were, 50 to 70-year-old adults who had various conditions. So a lot of my first clients, maybe it was a 74-year-old woman with rheumatoid arthritis. Maybe it was an 18-year-old college kid with an anxiety, and everything in between. So I did not actually like zone in on one specific avatar when I started. I knew I wanted to work with high performance men and women who are very ambitious, whose health was starting to decline, et cetera. But I didn't necessarily only market to those people when I started, because I needed clients in order to quit my nurse practitioner job. If I could not just quit and just like not make money. I had to make money. I had to make this work.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really care so much if somebody fell perfectly in line with my ideal client. That kind of grew with me.
Okay, so you had an idea of who your ideal client. It wasn't a perfect fit, but you knew because you were there once looking for answers. And so you knew sort of there are people out there looking for functional medicine and they don't even know it. And so you picked up the phone, said, can I come speak at this pharmacy? And they said, how's Thursday next week? That's great. One of the things that also opened my eyes to what's possible in your industry is the price point that you can charge. I've since come to learn that there are people who charge very little, and there are people who charge much higher prices. And I'd love to know what your journey was in that, in terms of your own confidence to be able to command high fees and what you learned along the way about pricing.
Yes. Well, never in a million years did I think that I was going to be making what I make now. My goal was just to replace my income. And my goal was like within the first 2 or 3 years. I tripled my income almost as a full-time nurse practitioner in the first year of business. So clearly I was like, oh my gosh, this is so possible and beyond what I even thought imaginable, because I was never taught this. I was never told this was an option. I didn't see anyone do it. I did not have social media at that time. So I had no one to kind of aspire to grow into until I started to prove it to myself that this was happening. So my journey with pricing is, at first I did research. Just like you said, I looked and I saw, what are other functional medicine practitioners charging? And I was shocked. I'll never forget one time I'm just Googling, doing research. I did not know anyone in this space. So I'm Googling, trying to find functional medicine practitioners. Mind you, a couple of years prior, I did not know the word functional medicine, just like you. I had never heard of that word in my life. It was one of my aunts who was like, Maggie, you just Google functional medicine. You need to heal. This is going to help you. So I didn't even know that this world existed at all, even in the functional medicine space. So imagine when I'm Googling functional medicine practitioners and I find some chick in Texas charging like $980 for an initial consultation. And I was like, what? This is insane. Like, I'm used to $25 copays over here. Like, people aren't doing this. And then I started researching more and just kind of seeing what people are charging. And I found that it was usually like an initial consultation was generally $250 to $950. And that's kind of like the span that I had found. And so I initially charged $485 for my initial consults, kind of a little middle ground. And then I did a retainer program. I knew I did not want to see one-off clients because I did not get well that way. Even when I saw functional medicine doctors for my own health, I don't believe that they were very good, to be honest. They were still seeing me like at one-off visits and then telling me to take all these supplements, do this diet, see you in 4 months type of deal. And I was like, this is still not it. So I knew I wanted to help somebody through a program, like 3 months with me or 6 months with me, where we fully zone in and dedicate to their health to make the most momentum forward.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started with the pricing. I definitely wimped out for my first couple of clients. I was not confident. I was like so nervous, and I lowered the pricing. So I remember with my retainer, I was going to do $1,285 a month. And I was like, just so scared on the phone. And all of a sudden, like when it came to the price, out of my mouth came like $985 a month, or I think it was actually $885. It just like came out $885, even though I like knew what I was going to do. So my first couple of clients, I charged less. And then after I was with them and saw the amazing results that they've gotten after 20 years in like other models and like reversing lifelong stuff, getting off of medications, the value that I give them by being there for them, like every single day, seeing them multiple times per month, I realized, and that's when my confidence grew. Oh, this is why I'm able to charge a higher price, because I'm giving them the solution of a lifetime. This is so different than their one-off visits with their current practitioners.
Awesome. Yeah. When I met you in New York, I remember the number 25,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's cool. How do you sell a $25,000 program? What advice do you give to people who are, you believe, undercharging and you say to them, oh my gosh, you could totally raise your fee. And they say something like, yeah, but I'm scared. What advice do you have about raising fees?
Well, number one, remember that this is not like a per appointment thing. This is a solution you're offering. So if somebody is really struggling with their health and it's impacting literally every portion of their life, and they spent tens of thousands of dollars already on scans, scopes, tests that don't give any answers, and you have a solution, say it's $25,000, and they work with you and they reverse all of their stuff and like finally get to live their best life and feel better. I've had clients cancel surgeries they no longer needed after working with me. So, okay, that's a huge cost that you're saving. And also, you don't have to get surgery anymore. So, you have to think about what is the solution that you're delivering for clientele versus like if that divided by 6 equals, oh my gosh, I'm charging X amount of dollars per appointment. It's not that. It's X amount of dollars for the solution that you are offering. So, that's the first step. The second thing I'll say is that it grows with confidence. When you start to see clients get the most amazing results, and also you have a wait list to work with you, you know you've got something good. And that allows you the confidence to raise your price to a level that feels very good for you, very good for the client. It's not too low. What the problem is if you're charging too cheap, you're going to need to see thousands and thousands and thousands of clients. And that's okay if you're in a model that has tens of thousands of clients a year and like 50 plus doctors on staff and things like that. But that's not what I want my life to look like. And so I don't want that model for my dreams. I want to be able to see some core, amazing dream high ticket clients and then have that financial and time flexibility to do other things that I like just launched a book. I have automated courses. I get to go to really fun events and hang out with my friends and like hang out with you, Majeed, and speak on stages and post on social media. If I'm seeing clients all day, every day, just to make my income or just like to break even for profit margins, I'm not going to have time for any of those other things. And then the business doesn't grow because I'm just seeing clients all day long. So
Awesome.
It's important.
So recap, what gives you the confidence to charge high fees is getting in touch with the actual value of the transformation that you're offering and decoupling it from the number of appointments or the number of minutes or hours that they're getting with you. Also getting in touch with what they're saving by not getting surgery, by not spending money on the problem anymore. And then as you see the results that you're getting in people's lives, it builds your confidence. And a waiting list, man, nothing gives you confidence in sales like a waiting list of clients. And if I'm not mistaken, a waiting list comes from good marketing, good word of mouth. So why don't we shift gears into marketing? I know you're amazing with social media. I saw you build an amazing social media following on Instagram and then lose the account. And if I'm not mistaken, starting back from zero. So tell us about, let's say I was starting from zero on social media. How do you use social media to get clients?
Yeah, that was crazy. Actually, most of our business comes from social media still, and it always did from the start. So yes, the speaking helped to get those influx of clients, but I would not grow to where I am without social media. And I don't think our clients would get the same results without it either. So if I did build up a huge audience and then my account got deleted, hacked, and never regained. So I did not get it back ever. I had to start over from absolute zero, which was like a day of crying and then like a deep breath. I'm like, okay, let's go. So I had felt the feels and then I was like, we got to move on. So if I were starting over and if you guys are just starting with your accounts, I would really focus on one ideal client that you are trying to attract. So like I was saying, I was kind of like all over the place at first. I wouldn't do that. I would focus fully in on specifically who you want to attract. So like Majeed with wellness, health and wellness professionals to optimize their speaking so that they can get paid first, or that they can get more speaking, more clients, more reach, etc. So zone in on who you want to speak to and stay creating content for that person versus yourself. I actually did some Instagram audits yesterday and it was so good. And here were a few tips that I gave. Do you want me to share a few tips?
Yes.
So the first thing is that one of the women was like, I'm so confused. I keep getting clients who are wanting help with like thyroid balance and Hashimoto's and like all this random stuff. And all I want to do is zone in on sleep and fatigue. Like that's where my passion is. That's my experience. I want to be like the sleep and fatigue person. It's like, okay. And so I looked at her Instagram and the very first post that I clicked is about seasonal allergies. I'm like, why is this about seasonal allergies? That has nothing to do with sleep and fatigue. And it was a picture of her and it was really pretty and she was hiking. And I'm like, you could use that same photo, but in order to actually market, grow your audience and get clients, it needs to be something like, it was so fun to hike this morning. I had so much energy. Definitely could not have done this 5 years ago when I was struggling with insomnia. Here are 3 core things I did to rebalance my insomnia so I could boost my energy and enjoy hiking again. P.S. If you want help to resolve your insomnia, I see clients one-on-one from around the world, help them with their fatigue and sleep. DM me health and let's get started. So same picture, but entirely different message. So only market and talk about what you want a person to buy. Another example, with an Instagram audit I did, somebody was confused why everybody wants her one-on-one. They're like, everybody just wants to work with me one-on-one. I really want them to get into the course. And I looked and she's literally just showcasing her one-on-one clients on Instagram. And I'm like, well, stop talking about how awesome your one-on-one package is. Don't tell them about what they can't have. Pump up what you want them to buy. So if you want them to enroll into your automated course, go crazy talking about how great the automated course is. Showcase clients who are in that program, not the one they can't have. And then a third example was a client who there was a post, it was her dog. And she was like, I love Saturn so much, or something like that, heart. And I'm like, great, showcase your personality. This dog is a part of you, but this is 0% is going to help you with your goals. If you want a dog account, create a dog account. Post the dog, but you have to have a spin on marketing. This woman, she was with rewiring and reprogramming your brain to grow wealth. So she's actually a neurosurgeon and totally transitioned her career. So what the advice that I gave was post the dog, but underneath it, spin it to a marketing to get clients. Something like, spending time with Saturn this morning, dreaming up our next wealth building, world domination plan. Did you know you can rewire your brain to attract money to attract more wealth and happiness into your life? I work with clients around the world. DM me, rewire, and let's work on rewiring your programming around money. So you can use that same personal stuff, but you have to use it for your clients, not for you. No one cares that you snuggled with Saturn. They care about how you can help them rewire their brain. Does that make sense?
Cool. So you got to find a way to make whatever you're posting talk about the thing that you want to offer. The call to action is DM me a word. And what I like about that is they don't have to think too hard. They know exactly what to do. They don't even need to think of what word to DM you. They like DM me the word rewire. Okay. Now, what happens next?
Well, we have conversations in the DMs. So when somebody DMs us, or even if they don't, we DM them. If somebody commented on your post but don't DM you, don't just sit back and wait for them to hopefully message you, right? Like they came to your account, they followed you, they commented on your thing. They're at your house now. Say hi to them. Like you reach out and say hi to them. So we act like I will DM people and say something like, thanks so much for the follow. I run a couple businesses, the health business and the business business. So I like to ask why they're here, because to me, that helps me identify, is this a health client or a business client, which by the way, I wouldn't recommend doing on one account. If I was giving like recommendations, business advice, don't do what I'm doing right now. Stay on one topic on one account and then create an entirely separate account for the other topic. Just a little side note. Yeah. But so we message them in the DMs and they came to you asking for help. So if they comment underneath your thing and they're like, yes, I want to get on more stages, you would DM them, Majeed, just for an example, and say like, hey, Maggie, I love that you want to get on more stages. Have you ever been on stage before? Just like start a conversation. Don't go straight into a pitch either, because that's not going to help. But just like start a conversation and ask a question. And then they're going to say, no, I've never been on stage. I'm so scared. I'm just starting my business. Is this too new for me? Oh, I hear you. Well, whatever. So you're having a conversation, and then that leads to, if you're following my model, an application form. And then we say something like, great, well, the next step is to fill out this short application form. This will guide you to a calendar link so we can hop on a call and chat through all the details. Here's the link. Do you have 3 minutes right now to fill it out? Yes. Okay, awesome. I'll stay tuned to make sure it comes through. You're good to go. Make sure you select a calendar appointment. Can't wait to talk to you soon. So we're converting audience members in the DMs to take that next step to apply to work with us, and then closing the deal on the phone. That's the normal flow for hours for one-on-one or group clients. And then if you have an automated program, say you're selling like a gut health program, if they ask you about gut health in the DMs, The answer is I've outlined everything in this amazing course. Here's the link. Do you want the link? And they say yes, and then you send the link. So it's very easy actually to sell and convert clients in the DMs. And most all of our conversions, a lot of them come from Instagram DMs.
Do you recommend that they get on a call?
My kind of like rule of thumb, this is not perfect. And also it depends on a lot of different factors. But if I'm selling anything above $2,500, I typically do a phone call first. Anything below $2,500, I send them to a checkout page. That's kind of like my general rule of thumb.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. We've covered old school speaking. We've covered high ticket sales and pricing. We've covered a little bit about social media and how to post and do the DMs. What do you tell people who say, I don't like to be on camera, I don't want to be on video, I'm shy? Do you say, suck it up, you need to get on camera and people need to see you and your vibe, or something else?
Something else. I like to meet people where they are, just like in my health business. If they are like really far away from where I want them to be, I'm taking baby steps to get there, because that will build confidence. And you won't build that confidence until you practice the steps and get to where you want to be. Social media is not natural to me. Like the first time I went live, this was a speaking event. So in-person speaking event at a medical spa or like a massage clinic. You guys, there were like 2 people there. It was like me and like 2 people and the spa owner. And I gave this presentation as if it was 50 people in the room. And I went live for the first time in my life. And I was so scared. I was also like hugely pregnant, and it was Facebook, because Facebook Live was a thing back then. And I was just like, here I am at the event I'm speaking at. 2 people were there. And I was just showcasing, even though there were only a couple people, because now I speak on stages that thousands of people are at, but I did not get there from the start. So don't be afraid to start from where you are right now. That confidence will start to build. If you're afraid of being on social media, maybe try either, number one, I like to just act like I'm talking to a friend. So take the pressure away from it and just start talking like you're talking to a friend. Number 2, I showcase what I'm doing anyways. So I'm not trying to pretend to be somebody I'm not. If I'm going to like make a morning breakfast or something like that, I just record what I'm doing. And then I show people it. I show them behind the scenes. Or if I'm taking like a supplement, I'm telling them why. If I'm in the sauna, I'm telling them why. I'm just showing what I'm doing in my life. So that makes things a lot easier and pulls off pressure from you. Number 2. Number 3, if you are just absolutely petrified of putting your face on there, even if you're acting like you're talking to a friend, don't. Just get B-roll. So video right now, when I first started, it was static posts. Now it's video. So what I would do is, again, say you're making a morning smoothie or something, just take your phone and like video portions of it. And then you could either audio over that clip, put a fun song in the background, and then audio over and say something like, hey, it's Maggie Berghoff. I'm a functional medicine practitioner showing you today what's in my morning smoothie. If you also are like, well, but I hate my voice. Everybody hates their voice, number 1. Mm-hmm. But again, if you need a baby step, then don't talk. Just write the words on the screen. Yeah. You guys, it's so simple if you just start to practice. And then, like I said, that positive reinforcement comes. I promise when you get your first $10,000 client from posting your smoothie, you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to do more of that.
There you go.
You know?
You go. Love that. Baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, I love TikTok. It's my favorite platform right now. Okay. So I have grown faster on TikTok, and not even like being consistent or anything, than I ever had on Instagram. I still like Instagram. And for different things, Instagram has better community, like communication with your community, whereas TikTok does not. So that's a big flaw, because I communicate with my community. But TikTok is way faster at growing. One of our girls just hit, one of her videos has 5.4 million views right now, and it changed her world overnight. She literally was like in tears telling us she woke up the next morning and her whole world was changed because brand partnerships came in. She had 400 people apply to work with her. Can you imagine waking up and having 400 people in your space? And this chick actually was an employee on our team. And she decided she wanted to build her own business. That's a whole nother story. That's an issue that we have a little bit. And so she was actually a health coach on our team and decided, you know what, I want to build my own business. Are you cool with this? Blah, blah, blah. So she actually then joined our mentorship program and now skyrocketed. So this is not abnormal. This is not just her. This is a lot of our clients. TikTok has the possibility right now to do more than you can ever imagine. And even if you've been on it for a while, some of our clients, they post in our mastermind and they're like, hey, I wanted to share this to give you guys hope. I was posting on TikTok for like the last 5 months with no traction. I was so frustrated. My videos were getting like 300 views. I just didn't understand why you guys are all blowing up and I am not. I'm trying my hardest. And then like this week, like 4 of my videos have gone viral and I have applications and people to work with me. So it's like any moment, you never know what video could take off. And that is just like the coolest thing in the world. And Instagram does not have that. TikTok, I think, is way better for organic growth.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Okay, cool. Anything we haven't covered that we should have?
Gosh, no, I mean, that's my main marketing strategy still to this day is I do 3 tiers. So social media, mainstream media, but in mainstream media, we do speaking. So like speaking is very important, getting on podcasts, getting in front of other people's audiences, being on TV, any kind of speaking, stages, summits, all that stuff is so important. And then strategic partnerships. So strategic partnerships, just connecting with other people who have similar audiences as you to all grow together. You guys, this was very key in my early growth as well, is having those friends in my circle. I had no connections when I started. So I didn't already have those friends. It took courage to step outside of my comfort zone. I'll never forget the first event I went to. I was like in tears, freaking out because I never paid that much money for an event. And I thought that was crazy. I felt so inadequate to be there. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are so much better than me. They're so much further along than me. Should I just not go? I was like so scared, but doing that allowed me so many connections that presented me in front of their audiences that I did not have to grow myself because I had no audience.
Which event was that?
That was Mindshare.
Oh, fun. Yeah. Mine like that was Archangel.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so transformative that I feel like everybody, if you've never gone to an event, even if it's expensive, like you have to do that. It's a part of entrepreneurial growth. You have to go in person to something.
Yeah. Go to the event where you feel like you're like the least successful person there and everyone else is like that. Everyone's
oh my gosh. I felt so dumb at my first Mindshare. I was like, I'm a nurse practitioner and everybody had like these huge businesses and I did not even know what I really wanted to do yet. It was very scary, but I did it. And that's why I was able to grow.
I remembered something I wanted to ask you. I know you're doing a summit next week and you had a summit a few months ago. And so you, I suppose, advertise or you go on social media and you get people to register. I'm not sure if you're doing it free or paid, and then you educate for a number of days and then you invite people into one of your programs. Can you tell us like, what's the strategy there?
We started doing that early last year, our first like summits. And it's just me. I don't bring on guests or anything yet, but what we do is like usually a 3 or a 4 day summit. We market it with organic social media. We just started doing some Facebook ads to the event, but honestly, the social media still way outperforms the ads. And even though we do have an ROI with ads, so we will keep doing it, the social media is so much better. It's so much better. So we do that. And then, yes, I educate them usually like 1.5 hours each day over that 3 or 4 days. And then I invite them into our program. The cool thing is I get to decide what that invite is in that moment, depending on what I want my life to look like. So right now we're enrolling into our high level mastermind, whereas in all of July and August, we have stuff going on with life and we're moving into a new house and all that stuff. So I will enroll people into our automated program because there's no fulfillment there and no sales calls and things like that. So depending on what you want your CTA to be at the end, that's kind of what you enroll. My biggest lesson that I learned from the event, so our highest converting event ever, I talked about the event on social media every single day for It's Not Too Late. So even after the doors closed to sign up for the event, even on day 4 of the 4-day event, I was like, you guys, it's not too late. Come to the event, come to the event, come to the event. You'll get the replay from the week. And so even on the last day of the event, I'm still telling social media, sign up for the event. And it's awesome. And we've done free. Most of them are always free. We actually just did our first paid event where they have to pay to come to the event. Yep. And that was interesting. We're still weighing. I'm eager. It's definitely a smaller turn up, but I'm eager to see conversions. It's actually this week. At the end of this week, we'll be able to see smaller turn up, yes, but perhaps higher qualified leads because they had to pay to come. So perhaps higher ROI on the back end, even though a smaller group. So we're excited to see kind of how that conversion works out.
Awesome. when people are registering for the free event, you're sending them to a landing page with Kajabi, or do you send them to a Facebook group to register, or how do you get them to register?
We do everything in Kajabi now. And so like our whole businesses are run there. So I send them to an opt-in form in Kajabi. We split test, usually like a very short, basic, like a button, and then like a very long, beautiful, well-written page. And honestly, the like little button usually outperforms every time. And so, which is kind of frustrating, but the little button usually wins. And then they register. So we get their name, email, and then they have opportunity to text us. So I have a text app. And then we ask them to text us Summit for Summit updates. That allows us to increase show up rates for people who actually see the reminder to come to the thing, because emails kind of get bogged down. So that's how we enroll them. And then after they like click register, it takes them to a thank you page. And that thank you page, sometimes we've done a pop-up Facebook group with the event. So we take them to a pop-up group with the people who are coming to the event. And then we actually shut down the group at the end of the event. Or we will do no Facebook group at all. And it just will tell them like, stay tuned for in your email for next steps. Can't wait to see you guys on X date. So that's kind of like the flow that we have. And then we do have email campaigns. Now, if you're just starting off, remember, we had none of this when we started. And I made multiple six figures in my very first year with no tech, no fancy website, no funnels, no, summits, nothing. So you don't need all this stuff, but now we do have a lot of automations on point, which is so amazing. So when they opt into the thing, they're tagged in our system as a summit attendee. They get a certain email series. When they end up buying something, they stop receiving that email series so that they don't get annoying emails, and they go into another series congratulating them for signing up and enrolling in next steps for that. So now it's fully automated and pretty awesome. It's once they come in, my job now is just to show up and help people. And then once they come into our space, the sales and fulfillment and automations are pretty on point to take care of them from there.
Love it. All right. How can people learn more about you, connect with you, sign up for all your programs?
Well, everything across the board is Maggie Berghoff. That's like my main page. So Instagram is honestly my favorite. I am myself on my Instagram DMs, like messaging people and audioing people all the time. So if you really want to connect with me and chat, Instagram is the best place, Maggie_Berghoff. And if you want to check out just anything else, our website is maggieberghoff.com.
Well, thank you very much, Maggie_Berghoff. You've been an inspiration to me and the people I work with. I hope that they all get to where you are at and beyond and having a huge impact in the world. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful to be here and hope that I can help more people in your crowd build their impact.
Thank you for listening to the Expert Speaker Podcast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave us a rating so that more people can discover the Expert Speaker Podcast and so more people can be empowered to share their message. Be sure to go to www.expertspeaker.com and take the masterclass to learn how to grow your business and make money speaking. It's totally free and will change your business. If you're ready to work with Expert Speaker, you can apply. Just go to expertspeaker.com/apply and someone from our team will be in touch with you to help you grow your business with public speaking. That's expertspeaker.com/apply. We'll see you in the next episode.